The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of September 17th, 2018. This is Might Be Sports. My name is Taylor Cooper. With me, as always, Kevin Reevy. What up, Kevin Reevy?
What up?
CJ's with us again this week.
Yes, I am.
What's up, CJ?
Not too much.
Get at us on mbnnetwork.com. You can stream all the shows on the network anytime you want. Go straight to the website and go to SoundCloud, iTunes, whatever. We got a busy show this week. A lot of stuff going on. CJ's coming at us with some rapid fire news stories here in a few minutes.
I figure that's more second half kind of thing.
Second half kind of thing. All right, yeah. Tease it a little bit. So, breaking news. We try not to be like too local here, but we do talk about some local shit. We're local to Philly. Elton Brand, new Sixers general manager. That just happened right before we started recording. How does that make you feel, Kevin Reevy? Search your feelings.
It's weird because Elton Brand was a really bad free agent signing. The only reason why he's here is because that was a terrible signing by the GM at the time. I think that was Billy King. Might have still been Billy King. Not entirely sure on that, but I think it was Billy King. He was known for making very rash decisions. He signed, I'm going to say 2004, Kenny Thomas. This is how it all started to go downhill for the Sixers. In 2004, Kenny Thomas fucked it all up for the Sixers. He had a great season. He was traded to the Sixers from the Houston Rockets. They signed him long-term to a deal that's no longer legal. I believe it was 6 or 7 years. You can't do a deal past 5 now, I believe. So it was like a 6 or 7 year deal. And the first year of the deal, he shit the bed. Just done playing. Forget it. I cashed out. I'm no longer trying. It's over. So the Sixers had to do something. They had this horrible contract for years, 6 more years. It's insane. Yeah. And they paid him a lot of money. I think he was top 5 in rebounds that year. Not quite an all-star, but a really good addition.
Yeah.
So from there, the Sixers are like, all right, what can we turn this into? The best thing we can do is turn this into another terrible contract, but maybe a better player. They trade him as part of a package for Chris Webber. They pair him with Allen Iverson. That's a total disaster. He's also done, but the contract is also for a very long time, and you can't unload the Chris Webber deal. So more and more bad contracts, years and years and years. This is what started the whole downhill trend. So once they finally got out of it, big free agent, Elton Brand, coming off an injury. I believe he was just coming off an injury.
I think you're right. I don't remember what it was.
One of those cautionary tales. Now you know not to sign a guy with that injury. They signed Elton Brand, and it was just more of the damn same. He just wasn't. He was kind of like Chris Webber. Wasn't very good, serviceable, could play, rebound a little bit, just not a difference maker. You'd see this is not the Elton Brand we know. So it's just interesting that that's the new GM. The only reason why he's with the Sixers is because our old GM made a terrible decision signing him.
Do you think he's going to be like a more or less just a figurehead? Like he's just he was totally. It was totally unexpected to me. Is this he's never been a GM before? I feel like he just left the league.
I like it because it comes out of nowhere. And it's very rare to see a player. The NBA, the recent trend has been players becoming coaches.
Right.
The Sixers were like, you know what? We'll do one better. We'll do player becomes GM.
Yeah.
That might be a good move. That might be a move that signals to players like, hey, we got some, after our playing career, maybe we got some ambition. We might want to, break that front office glass ceiling. What
is Magic at the Lakers? He's head of basketball operations? Is that different than the GM? Or what is he out there?
I don't know what he exactly is out there. I think he might be basketball operations.
But it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
I mean,
right?
Elton Brand is
general manager is day to day.
I think Magic is above.
It's above GM, right? He's a part of
But also,
Yeah.
he hasn't played in 25 years.
Right. No. I just didn't know what he was out there,
Yeah.
if he was the GM or not.
You don't think of Magic. Magic is like a mogul.
Yes,
You don't
agreed.
think of him so much as a player.
Right.
Whereas Elton Brand, he was just playing a few years ago.
Right.
His career just ended.
When did it? Yeah, it just ended, right?
Right, I don't think he's
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
He might not even be 40 years old.
Right.
So I mean, it's an interesting thing. I understand it. I get it. I think they're trying to get the jump on. Oh, you guys are gonna move Jason Kidd, these kind of guys to head coach. We'll move a guy to GM.
See what happens.
And it might be intriguing to players that are looking to sign. You got to differentiate yourself when you got LA, Golden State. I mean, I guess
Boston.
the Knicks are kind of out of it, but eventually they're going to be a good place to go. I don't know. You need to differentiate yourself. Philadelphia is just not on the map.
I agree. You could tell by the abysmal free agency this year. I was disappointed. Not necessarily about LeBron, but Kawhi. I would have liked to have seen that. I don't know. I was underwhelmed so far. But they also just said that like Markelle Fultz has taken like a stupid amount of shots this summer or something. I saw some headline. He's taken like a couple thousand shots or something, and they all look great or something. Some guy said that, some doctor or some shit. I don't know. If Markelle Fultz is nothing, then this shit sucks.
If a doctor says it, it's probably true.
Right? I hope so. I don't even know if it was a doctor. I just saw it somewhere. And I was like, oh, cool. That's good news.
Might have been Dr. J.
Ben Simmons has been working on his shot, I see. Everybody's talking about it. That's the buzz.
The sports guy?
I don't know.
His shot into a Jenner.
Nah, they're done now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're done. It was a summer fling.
TMZ let me down with that one.
Well, I don't know if they were done a little while ago. That's what I heard.
I mean, the Sixers have an incredible amount of talent. They could be as good as any team in the NBA. It's just they got guys that just disappear. There was a thing on Twitter today. Derek Bodner, he's the Sixers writer for The Athletic, and he was throwing a hissy fit saying, let me pull up the tweet, and I quote from Derek Bodner, "I spent my entire life living in the Philadelphia area listening to people complain that their teams, players, and city are not getting enough respect. Then Robert Covington gets praise from national outlets and fans lose their minds." So I guess the insinuation there is that Philadelphia fans are down on Robert Covington. They don't feel like he deserves praise. And you know what? He's kind of full of shit here because the stats don't back it up. The last 10 regular season games, Covington shot 31.4% from three. In the 10 playoff games, he shot 31.3% from three. That's the last 20 games of the season last year.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Boston series alone, he made just 6 of 24 three-point attempts. They lost the series.
Right.
You could make the argument if he
did better. Yeah.
6 more of those, they might win. You never know.
If Ben Simmons had a jump shot, they probably would have won.
Oh, he was terrible.
Yeah. If Ben Simmons would have had a jump shot, we would have beat Boston.
He totally lost his stroke, his confidence, everything. But
He just
again,
looked worn down.
since
All of them did. All of them did.
since
Not just
when
Ben
is it a
Simmons.
crime to be down on your guys for shitting the bed late in the season? That's what you're supposed to do as a fan. But no, we're supposed to support these guys through thick and thin. He played terrible. He's part of the reason why they lost.
Yeah.
Period. You can still like the guy and think he's going to do well, but you got to call a spade a spade. That's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely let me down in that Boston series. It was tough to watch. That Boston series was tough to watch.
6 of 24. It's 25% from three.
It's garbage. I mean, it's better than I can do, but it's garbage. From an NBA standpoint, playoffs, if you're a playmaker, you're not shooting 25% from the three.
And I get it. It's late. They're not used to playing that late in the season. But that's a trend that has to reverse.
That right
if
there.
They're going to win.
That's no excuse.
We need fucking Markelle Fultz on the court. That's how I feel. We need it. And fucking Elton Brand's going to make it happen.
Oh, by the way, my mom doesn't like when you say fuck.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Ma.
I say fuck a lot. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So do I. It's all right.
It's all
Fuck it.
Kevin.
Fuck it.
Okay.
Moving on.
We should put out like
Hey,
a
Taylor,
clean
what else
version.
is happening in the news?
Well, baseball. You say you have some baseball things to talk about. I gave up on baseball like a week ago. I'm just not going to lie about it.
Well, I mean, I
The
thought it
Phillies
was
just became they won and Braves lost, so they're a game closer to first place.
I feel like the Phillies have like won one game in the past month. That's how I feel. I just stopped watching.
there's so much like Philadelphia fans and the people that cover the team. They've chosen sides, and they will not move from their side. It's insane. I don't want to call out each person. There's just too many. If you were pro Phillies before, you're still pro Phillies, even though they're playing awful right now.
I'm always pro Phillies.
If you were against them, you're puffing your chest out. Nobody's moving from their stance.
Yeah.
Gabe Kapler right now is like, he's as polarizing as can get. Before, I mean, if you would say maybe a month ago, he was a clear manager of the year candidate. Right now, kind of a laughingstock. And he's got very unusual methods. He will play anyone, anywhere. I saw him play. I went to a game about 2 weeks ago where it seemed like every single person in the field was playing out of position. It was outrageous. Carlos Santana at third base. Well, you know what? Not necessarily out of position, but everyone, like, it was the perfect combination of players to where everyone is really bad at their position. So Justin Bour at first. He's not your best first baseman. Carlos Santana, definitely not your best third baseman.
but probably somehow weird way the analytics and the
it's just
stats worked out.
But
and then
way.
also, by the way, what were they giving away at that Phillies game? Since you only go to
Yeah, I always end up going to Phillies games when they give stuff away.
What did you get?
Unless, well, here's the thing. I learned, I was heartbroken. I went to, I forget who was pitching. It was, why is his name escaping me? The former Cubs guy, Jake Arrieta.
Yeah.
It was some sort of replica jersey of his. And I was kind of excited. I'm like, all right, cool. I went to John Kruk night, got a batting practice jersey, and it was actually really nice. But if you go through the bar entrance, you don't get shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's terrible.
Now,
It's
every
the-
time I
it's
say
the
the
best
F word, I'm
entrance.
going to think of your mom. But you know what? My mom doesn't like it when I say the F word either. She listens to shows too.
It's the best entrance when you go through the what's it called? What's the name of that bar?
McFadden's.
McFadden's.
I
That's the only
always-
place you can go outside to smoke too.
I
in the
call
whole ballpark.
McFadden's anything but McFadden's. I call it McGillicuddy's, everything with M except McFadden's every time. I am incapable of remembering the name McFadden.
Yeah, that's the only place in that whole ballpark you can go outside and smoke cigarettes and come right back in.
I don't know how we got on this, but anyway.
That's
Anyway,
true.
it is.
Yeah.
Trust me, I searched everywhere. I did. I searched everywhere.
So the Phillies managed to just shake everything up. And my argument was, when it might make sense on paper. And I don't want to be one of those like old guys. All of a sudden I'm old and I'm one of those guys. But it also makes sense. If something makes sense on paper, you move guys around, shuffle them wherever you want, and the computer's telling you this is the right move. There are feelings involved. The players have a say too. If they're upset, that needs to be factored in.
Yeah, that can't be computed into his like analytical way of thinking about all this stuff.
When the season's over, I want to know how many guys are happy with the way this season went down and being moved all over the place and having to play multiple positions. Not necessarily the young guys that kind of, they need this team to keep going with their major league career, but the veterans.
Right.
Carlos Santana, did he like playing in third? Rhys Hoskins, who's clearly a star, did he like playing left after he broke every record there was last season?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. I don't think you can have a pure analytics guy or a pure feel guy. You got to be somewhere in the middle. And Gabe Kapler is a pure analytics guy.
Right.
And he's really annoying too. It's really it wears on you when he's so optimistic. Sometimes when guys are just fake.
Full of it.
He's fake.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, but he's fake as hell. And I like him,
Yeah.
but he's fake.
I don't know. I was on board, and then they just totally fell apart.
But,
Meltdown.
hey.
And I'm not off. I'm just, it's football season now. I don't care anymore.
I think he's more like, how you meet people and there's those book smart people and there's street smart people, but if you're too far to one side, you don't really like the book smart people that have no idea how the real world works.
Right.
I think he might be so far into analytics that he has no idea.
He's like coloring book smart. I don't know. He's weird. He's so out there.
I don't know what that reference is.
I don't know either. It just made sense. It does kind of make sense, though, if you think about it.
Well, is it color by numbers or is it just coloring in a book?
I don't know.
Because coloring book is pure imagination. You can color whatever
I was
color
at a
you want.
bookstore once, and there was a book called Why Cats Paint. And the idea of the book was it went into why cats paint. And I know what you're thinking. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what the book was. It analyzed why cats paint. And cats don't paint. There was a sequel to that book. I'm not making this up. The sequel was called Why Paint Cats. And it was about people that paint cats' faces.
So wait, they did that second after cats painting?
Yes.
That's weird.
But like, why cats paint? Cats don't paint. You put paint on their paws and they paint shit. Why? Because you freaking made them paint.
Maybe-
And then why paint cats? Because you're psychotic.
Maybe those cats had deep emotional feelings that they needed to get out on the canvas.
And
on the
you have
canvas.
this
Oh,
much
cats
trouble
have
with your
issues.
book
They
deals?
have issues.
Cats have serious issues.
Those books got published and you have that much trouble with
You
your
need
book
to-
deals?
Everybody listening to this, everyone listening to this, Google it. I'm not making it up. It's insane. I think they sold a lot of copies because it's really weird. It really,
Oh, yeah. Fitz is over in the corner Googling this
Yeah.
right now and it does
it's
exist.
a real thing. And it's crazy. It's
That's
weird.
funny.
So
I'm gonna
anyway.
have to check it out.
Yeah.
So because you're not crazy into it, and we have some rapid fire news, and we'll talk some NFL in the second half. I'll get through some college football right now.
Wait. I got breaking news.
Breaking news:
All right. So,
they fired Elton Brand.
no.
That's smart.
So we were looking at the standings and just mind blowing that the Baltimore Orioles are 60 games behind. Like that's like the majority of an NBA season behind Boston. 43 and 107. Boston's 103 and 47. They are 60 games behind. 6-0.
Wow.
So I texted the stat guru, the greatest stat mind of the planet, Ryan Spader, who you give him something to look up, he gets back to you in 3 seconds flat. I say, yo, when's the last time this early or late in the season, however you'd put it, a team was 60 games behind? And he says, got my car detailed today. And I got some cool shots of his car, and it looks nice. Anyway, what are we talking about next? So I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll get back to me on that.
60 games behind.
60 games behind, though. It's crazy. So, yeah, I don't have any stats for you, but we'll work on that. But
I remember I texted
That's
Spader.
outrageous.
Someone goes, yeah, Ryan Spader, he knows all this baseball stuff. So they asked me some random question, and I texted to Spader, and Spader goes, I'm at a Villanova game. Why are you texting me out a person that only had 5 career starts and then did this, this, and this? And I tell the guy, he goes, wow, he actually knows that.
he's got it all in his head.
That's crazy.
What he doesn't have in his head, he can look up he's got all the tools
Yeah,
at his disposal.
that's crazy.
He can do it. If he can't do it, he's like, I'm going to need a computer for that. And that's when you know, all right, this is
This
serious.
is serious shit.
He's going to come out with some amazing shit.
Wow.
But anyway, but yeah, moving on to what? Minor league football?
Minor league football.
Okay.
Current top 10, Alabama, Georgia, and Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, LSU, Stanford, Notre Dame, Auburn with a loss, and Penn State.
Did Western play?
Western.
That was the fake college team in Blue Chips with Nick Nolte.
They lost.
You throw it into neon and you stuff the ball.
Oh,
That's
Auburn.
my Nick Nolte. It'll be high ground by nightfall. That's the thin red line. Not related. Anyway, moving on.
Auburn lost to LSU. Number 7, Auburn lost to 12, LSU. They're rivals. 22-21 was the final score. Auburn is still in the top 10. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
They should be down way below the top 10. You lose a game. All these college teams.
You know what? They definitely would have lost a spot if it was later in the season, right? Even if, like, no matter what, if both of them were undefeated, if they were same position, if they lost 22-21 4 weeks from now, they'd be 12, 13.
You think
14.
Auburn would have won if they were if they were a darker shade of brown?
Maybe. Who?
That was an Auburn joke. Because the color Auburn. It's
Alabama.
a brown color, right? Is it orange? Did I blow it?
And it's orange.
It's orange.
Shit.
Yeah. You fucked that up.
I rewind.
I mean, you have
Hey,
a
do you
better
think Auburn
chance
would have
of
won if they were a darker shade of orange?
Alabama continues to smash people.
I'm drinking Bud Light oranges. Don't get on me.
62-7 over Ole Miss. They just need to shut up and play the Browns.
See, I don't understand how this ranking system works. You have a better chance of explaining space physics to me and me getting that than how these teams get ranked.
So the rankings, you have basically two options. You can go to the Associated Press or USA Today.
And they're all based on feelings.
They're all
So-
based on feelings. That's
Yep.
it. That's it. And it continues to be that way all the way until the end.
So Kapler should go and do the poll for this. This is more of an analytics thing
Oh, yeah.
than a feelings thing.
Because, see, USA Today has Auburn at 11. Right? But Associated Press is what they usually go by. That's like the main thing, I guess. That's where they get the shit. I think they do that for basketball, too. No?
Can we bring back the BCS computer that figured out everything?
Yeah, right.
I figured that computer did a better job.
Isn't that how they do it for basketball, though? It's the same deal, right? College basketball?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where I came up with my imaginary lead scenario. Was back in college. I remember Duke was dominating. This was I'm going to say 2004. Duke was on top, and I remember like giving my theory out there that all right, Duke's ranked number 1. They just lost, and now they're ranked number 3. They were number 1 for like multiple weeks and just killing every opponent. And the clear consensus number 1. Shouldn't they have an imaginary lead? Like, you can only go as far as 1. But my point was, like, they're building this resume that should withstand,
You have
kind
to
of defend a loss.
You have
College
to.
basketball standings don't really matter until March Madness. Then it's just one knock, and
Yeah,
then
but it's so weird. So you could lose at the end.
it's just like
seeding,
hockey.
yeah.
You could act, which is insane. You could have 3 losses, but early losses, and be ranked higher than a team just as good that loses the second to last game of the season, something along.
Well,
And that's their only loss.
We've talked about that in like how that if they extended the college football playoff, it would give it a more March Madness feel. Right now, who gives the top 8 teams? Like that's all it is.
And that would be
March
great.
Madness because in March Madness you always have that Cinderella story. Whatever, you have some team that's not supposed to be there at the end that's there, and that is totally eliminated in college football already from the start. And to get back to your point about like the rankings and if they should have an imaginary lead. These teams that are over and over and over and over again in the top 10, Auburn, Ohio State, Oklahoma, or not Oklahoma, Alabama. Isn't that what I just said?
Yep.
These guys, they should be playing
USC.
tougher opponents year round. Like, there's no reason why Alabama should be playing. I mean, Ole Miss is okay, but I mean,
but my
they're
point
playing
is,
nobodies.
give them all a shot. If there's a
Arkansas
larger field,
State. Arkansas State. Why are they playing Arkansas State?
yeah, but why shouldn't Arkansas State have a chance to win the national championship? Why are they automatically discounted?
It's not even discounted.
But with your theory, you want to throw them out. You don't want Alabama playing them.
Well, you got to work your way up. You got to work your way down. If Alabama starts losing, if they start playing top 25 teams every week and they start losing, then they're not playing these guys anymore, and the next guy up.
If there's
Same
a
thing as
larger
everything
playoff
else.
field, Arkansas State gets a chance to win.
You're talking about
They're just playing for these weird, bogus bowl games right now, and that's
right. Who cares? Like, yeah, but
I don't like it.
When you mention it as minor league football. So check this out. To play off of that, you could have the top, let's just say, I don't know, 30 teams, 25 teams, whatever teams, whatever. You can have that be the big time college football teams. Those motherfuckers, those guys are playing each other. It's already predetermined, whatever, season to season basis. Everybody else, that's the minor league football. You know what I'm saying? And whoever comes in, like, what do they do that in soccer? In Europe, they got people that come in, come out.
Yeah.
They if they start
Premier
losing
League.
and whatever, the Premier League. Yeah. They do that. So you could do almost the same thing. You'd be incorporating new teams on a season basis, not just in a playoff basis. But then, then you'd actually see teams that are worth watching play each other.
Well, I mean, this
Because
is
a 22-21 game between a number 12 and a number 7 that was an awesome game. Like, we would see games like that more often, more fierce competition, less because there's so many different divisions in college football that it turns a lot of regular football fans off, right? There's just too many teams. The rosters are constantly recycling themselves because they're obviously going to the pros or graduating and becoming plumbers. Who knows? It's just a thing, right? So, like, that's how I feel like they should do it.
like, so the reason I can't follow
That shit would
college
be
football
awesome.
is the same reason I can't follow hockey, because you have, and it's kind of like the complete opposite, but only a few teams are going in. But hockey, it's also, you have the preseason, then you have the regular season, then half the teams go to the playoffs. So, which is essentially another preseason,
Right.
Preseason stage 2, and then you get eliminated.
We're like 2 weeks away from hockey.
I know there's
Preseason's already on.
yeah, the preseason. What, tonight?
I've never watched a preseason hockey game in my life.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, there's some big time hockey fans in Philadelphia. This is a huge hockey town. There was
Oh,
a
yeah.
time where I was a big time hockey fan, but I just couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
I
It's
can't
a
do
lot.
it. I got a lot of friends and we'll have people on that know hockey, and we'll bring them on and they'll talk.
I love
there.
going to hockey. I love watching them fly.
I will be the first person to admit I'm a fair weather hockey fan, because the regular season really doesn't matter as long as you're better than half the other teams. You get in.
You get in.
Yeah. So it's pretty much just watching preseason games, and you're like, oh, all right. So Flyers are getting in. All right.
Yeah.
And then the eliminations start.
Like, that's okay. There's
They're-
a group
they're-
of
their playoffs
hardcore
last
fans that
forever.
says, you know what, you don't deserve it. You shouldn't follow us now because we're good. Who cares?
Right.
Okay, like, yeah, if you're a hardcore Flyers fan or whatever fan you are of an NHL team, great. They win. You're going to feel it more. You're going to love you can't bash the guys that are jumping on the bandwagon. Who cares?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But it's fun to jump on during the playoffs. I mean, the
Hockey's,
Stanley Cup playoffs
hockey's
are,
awesome to watch. It's just a lot. There's a lot.
it lasts about 6 months.
Yeah, it does.
And
It
every
does.
team gets in.
Yeah.
Hockey, I think more than any other sport, it's not luck, but it does seem like a little bit. It's a little weird. Like any sport where like soccer or anything where the scores end up 2-0, 1-0, 3-1, 3-2. A little bit of luck involved, and over the course of a long season, half the teams get in. Like, all right, are the best teams in? Who's out?
Right.
Like, it makes watching the regular season be like, all right, what's the point?
See,
Because once you get to the playoffs, the shitty teams just seem to somehow pull it off in the end.
Yeah, they do.
The Flyers were the last team in a few years ago, and they made it to the finals. A few years ago, that was like 10 years ago, but
Something like that.
that's the last time I was really following the Flyers.
I love going to the games. I enjoy watching hockey. Just I feel like the Flyers haven't been especially exciting to me in the past few years. I don't know what it is. Like, I love like quite a few of the players on the team. Wayne Simmons definitely, like, Claude Giroux's good. I've kind of like lost a little like
Big superstar.
I'm just kind of
You look
over.
at his career?
I'm over it.
Not that impressed.
Yeah, I'm just over it. Like change it up, do something. I'm over it. I need some young blood in there, which I guess they're getting this year. I don't know. Co-host Kev on Might Be News is like, they're stacked this year. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that means. I thought they were stacked for like the past 5 years, and they've been like,
Well, all that matters if they get to the playoffs, because half the teams get in, so they could halfway be stacked.
I feel like that's all people want and expect. I'm like, wait a minute, like we want more than that, right? Like, come on, guys. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this is their year.
We'll touch on this in 6 months.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hold that thought.
When
We'll see.
elimination happens,
Yeah.
first round elimination.
6 months from now, we'll pick this up.
For now, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, do some rapid fire shit. Did anybody watch the Canelo Triple G fight? Anybody?
Not worth
Nope.
it.
I didn't watch it. I heard it was really good. I don't know.
When they screw you on
I'm
the first
hyped on
one,
the Connor
you're-
hype videos.
Yeah, we'll see.
fool me once, shame on me. Fool me, you're not going to fool me again.
Well,
I believe that's the quote. Right?
That is the quote.
Did I get
That
that
is
right?
the quote.
Did I
Yep.
get that right?
I think you
Got
did
it.
get it right.
Nailed it.
Well, Canelo Triple G. We won't talk about that after break. Hey, it's Taylor Cooper, co-host Kev.
And I'm co-host Dan. I have to bring something up that's been bugging the shit out of me about your wedding.
What?
You've known me a long time,
Yeah,
all right?
You've known both of us a long time.
long
You've
time.
known
We're on
Kev
the-
a long time.
Fucking radio show together.
Yeah,
We are your brothers.
correct.
Why the fuck was I in the corner?
Yo, both of us.
We
Yo.
were the furthest away from the bar. We were the furthest away from the food. It was like, I'm just going to put you guys in the corner because I don't want to see you.
Check out Might Be News on mbnnetwork.com. Also, SoundCloud and iTunes. New episodes every Monday. And we're back. Might Be Sports. Taylor Cooper, Kevin Reevy. What up?
What's going on? Sorry, I was texting.
It's okay. What up, Craig?
Much rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling. So get at us on mbnnetwork.com. Shit's sweet. We got NFL stuff. Week 2 was a crazy week. This is the first time I think I saw since 1979, I think it was, that the NFL season has started with 2 ties in 2 weeks. This week it was Minnesota and Green Bay in a crazy missed kick fest.
And is it true that
It was horrible.
The penalty that was called on Clay Matthews
Yes.
was called a burping penalty?
Yes.
Burping.
Burping.
They get to decide what the penalties are called. Like, why would you call it burping if you don't want to get ridiculed?
I know. It's dumb.
NFL, what are you doing?
And it's a dumb penalty. It was a nice tackle. Did you see it? You saw the video?
I actually didn't see it.
It was a form tackle. He just tackled him. But they said that he lifted him. And that's what the penalty is. You're not allowed to lift the quarterback anymore because a big reason why was Aaron Rodgers getting slammed to the ground. What was it, last season, breaking his collarbone? They just don't want to see that stuff. So they don't want you lifting the quarterback,
Like you would, like a male adult baby.
trying to burp him. Yeah,
You'd lift,
exactly that.
lift, and separate.
And that was a major turning
Lift.
point in the game.
separate.
A major turning point in the game. And it was to me, it was a good tackle. He avoided head contact. He wrapped him up, dropped him. That's what you're supposed to do. They're making it really hard to play defense in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, I mean,
It's getting worse every year.
look at the. So he puts his arm over and you start rising up. So his feet do come off the ground. But,
One of his feet was still on the ground, though, you can see.
yeah, but I'm still made the tackle and I know he's going to the ground. So you want me to fall on the ground on top of him? Or do you want me to just start getting up and calling it a day?
Right.
And his arms over me and I start getting up. Like I start well, I shouldn't say getting, like straightening up.
Right.
And it lifts him up.
It's this crazy thing. And that was a crazy game. And
And it's one of those things, like, I'm very consistent. I don't like things based on feelings. There's no clear set defined
Analytics only.
set of rules. I'm not a purely analytics guy, but I just don't like things purely based on feelings. So it's the same with, and we're not going to get into it again, but the Serena Williams thing. Like, oh, who could she beat? Well, it's a purely
He went
feelings
there.
thing. We can get
He did
into
go
the
there.
analytics of it and like the serve speed and all that kind of stuff.
He's still there.
I can understand the analytics of that. The feelings of like, oh, well, I feel like she could beat this guy or that guy.
And he's still there.
Getting it off of Serena Williams. Feelings have no place in sports, especially in football. You need a clear set of rules.
Right.
That's why I can't get down with like gymnastics and all this stuff where, everything seems perfect and it's like, oh, they got a 5.9.
But they didn't plant
What's
their
that
foot.
out of? 6, 7? Why? Like, what did they do wrong? I don't get it. Whenever there's judges, it's bullshit. It's based on feelings. You can't.
Well, they keep trying to make. I mean, like they simplified the catch rule. They simplified the catch. It seems to be going better.
Which is still based on feelings.
It is.
I don't like that they changed that because before, actually, it wasn't. It was very clear cut. Here's what you had to do to make a catch. Because people's feelings got in the way. It wasn't the officials' feelings, it was people's feelings. They felt like it was a catch. Well, screw you. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
But they missed some. They missed some calls, and they
That Jesse
openly
James
admitted
catch
that.
was not a catch. He caught the ball while he was in midair, motioning towards the end zone, didn't keep the ball to the ground, not a catch.
Did
And
Dez-
it
did
wouldn't
Dez
be a
catch it?
catch now. In the
Did-
new rule, it would not be a catch.
Did Dez catch it?
Oh, I maybe, because I think he actually caught the ball and made a move.
I thought he did too.
But Jesse James was in the act of falling to the ground. And by the way, not being a homer, although I might be being a homer, but Zach Ertz
Catch.
in the Super Bowl.
Catch.
He caught the ball
Yeah. And
Two
he made a move.
steps.
2 steps. Yeah.
and then jumped.
Well, see, this
Totally
year
different from Jesse James.
they simplified it too, saying that movement after catch, ball movement, doesn't necessarily mean it's not a catch. Remember, like last
I'm okay
year, it was
with
like, yeah. So that's one of my favorite changes
because
that
if,
they
if
made.
you're
with it.
moving the ball from your right to your left hand,
Doesn't mean that you don't have control,
exactly.
Right.
I'm totally cool with that.
and that's one of the things they did this year, which I like. I do like that. What was I saying? One of the other rules. This burping thing is dumb. It's dumb.
Especially because of the name. They could have called it whatever
Yeah.
they wanted.
They could have called it something
They
way
called
cooler.
it burping.
Yeah, it's
You have to know you're totally screwing yourself over. if
That's a
you
loss.
call a rule burping.
That's
That's
a
on you.
Yeah, that's a loss. The Browns lost another close one. 21-18. They lost to the Saints in New Orleans. What does that mean? Does it mean that the Browns are finally on a come up? That they might win a few more than a couple games this year?
Maybe, but there's a more pressing matter we need to discuss. CJ and I, off air, were just discussing. So we had the whole dilly-dilly, Philly thing with the Eagles last year. You know, the fact they won the Super Bowl, and there was this whole Zach Ertz thing, like if we win is,
Free Bud Light.
free Bud Light. So we're drinking Bud Light oranges right now, and we're looking at the bottle. We're
Looks
seeing
like a
Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
We're
Yeah.
seeing that brown orange. And you know what? I'm
Does it
thinking
apply?
free Bud Light orange. But you know what? Don't knock it. This is a delicious beverage.
It is a delicious beverage.
It's really good, actually.
It's really good.
And, Bud Light orange, they should. CJ, you were totally right. I don't know why you're not like bragging right now. This is a great concept. If the Browns were to go on a run, Bud Light Orange should jump all. But here's why it rocks. Bud Light could still be on Philadelphia, their bandwagon, while
Well-
Bud Light Orange is on the Browns. There could be an inter-company war.
Well, Bud Light already jumped on the Browns saying if they win one game, free Bud Light for everybody in Cleveland.
They did do that?
Yeah.
Well, see, Bud Light's on everybody's bandwagon
But
because
it
they're
wasn't
sponsored
Bud
by the
Orange
NFL.
specific.
I think Bud Light's you're gonna see this since they pulled off the thing in Philly. They did it well, and their sales are up.
Yeah.
That they're gonna start doing bets like this for. They're gonna pick a city every year and
Sure,
do
why
a
not?
bet
Oh, yeah.
and do this and that. But I'm kind of still annoyed that all Cleveland has to do is win one game, and they got halfway there with a tie.
Well, they're going to get there. They're actually a good team. But how crazy would it be? Like, it's never going to happen. But if the Eagles are in the Super Bowl against the Browns, the commercial possibilities of Bud Light being on Team Philly Bud Orange being on the Browns. This is amazing. It could be so good.
What? So remember the commercials Bud used to have back in the day, the Bud Bowl. So it was Bud versus Bud Light.
Exactly. Wow, it works on so many levels.
Let's see. Cardinals got shut out by the Rams this week. That's crazy.
Josh Rosen is coming. The rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Talks a good game.
Rams look pretty scary. They're a good team. The Cardinals, not so much.
It's incredible what the Rams are doing right now. I almost mistakenly made a trade for a Rams wide receiver on my fantasy team where, and nobody cares about fantasy football teams, but I almost mistakenly traded for a wide receiver, Robert Woods, and that would have given me all three of the Rams wide receivers. That's why I didn't do it. I was like, holy shit. I almost mistakenly traded for all three, but they're all having great years. It's unreal. Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, all three. Unreal. I don't know how they're doing it. It doesn't make any sense. They spread the ball around so damn well, but you got to keep in mind, it's only 2 games.
It's only 2 games. Only 2 games in.
But they're a well-rounded team.
This is a different thing. AFC East, it's not being won by the Patriots right now.
Yet.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, obviously we're only 2 weeks in, but this looks different pretty much than every other year, right? Miami's undefeated right now. They usually do pretty decent in the beginning of the season. There's a couple teams that like rock real hard in the beginning. Kansas City's usually one. Miami's been there. They kind of do that. Cincinnati is kind of known for that a little bit, I feel like. They like do really good kind of in the beginning, get people kind of hype on it, and then all of a sudden they just don't make the playoffs. What do you think about Jacksonville? Did you catch any of that game against the Patriots? I thought they were really aggressive. A lot of fun to watch this past weekend.
I did. I actually thought Blake Bortles looked like the quarterback he was supposed to be.
Yeah, he looked great. Without, what's his name? Leonard Fournette.
Which is weird. He has off games. When he's off, way off. And other times, he looks like one of the best out there. He looks like a great veteran quarterback. Like
he looked really good, yeah.
And, I mean, if they get that guy every week, really good team.
Their defense is great, too. Their defense is really good.
That's what leads the charge for them. And, I mean, Blake Bortles knows he doesn't have to be a superstar.
Right.
And that helps.
Yeah, I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. Because the defense is kind of the star attraction on that team.
Right.
That's what everybody talks about.
And for as much crap as I talk on Dak Prescott, he knows he's got the savior tag on him. And that's tough. It's hard to play with that. And he's just not that. But he has to play to that level to save, quote unquote, save the Dallas franchise.
We'll have to see how Carson Wentz handles that pressure because he's got the same kind of, vibe with the whole savior thing. People are even saying, because he's coming back this week, on the 3rd Sunday he rises. Unbelievable.
That's really good.
Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. So,
Jeebus.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to deal with that. What do you think? Are they rushing Carson Wentz back? Obviously, you're not a doctor. You don't watch him practice. But, what's your gut feeling about this? Is it too soon? Is it right on time? Is it just what we need? What do you think?
It's so weird that it's a debate issue because it's a doctor issue. The doctor cleared him.
Right.
He's good to play.
Right.
So to wait longer is kind of weird. I mean, I guess it depends on which doctor you talk to. And there have been some to say that a popular opinion is the longer you wait. All right, so let's just wait till he's, 24 now? Let's wait till he's early 30s. Then, I mean, his ACL should be superhuman.
Listen, I don't think
he might be able to run
saying
a 3.940.
But I just worry that it's just
wait. If you wait as long as possible, he should be like the Flash.
I like the move because you're coming back against a mediocre Colts defense as opposed to a week later a pretty decent Panthers defense. You're coming back to a home game against a crowd that is literally dying to see you. I think that it's the perfect time. I'm worried though about his supporting cast.
Right.
Alshon Jeffrey's out, obviously. Mike Wallace is out right now. Ajayi is injured. I don't know how long. I'm wondering what we're going to do about all that. But we want to talk about Josh Gordon. I kind of wanted to see if we could land that. Obviously, that didn't happen. He just got signed by New England this week.
But he's cleared to play.
He's cleared to play.
So he's got to play.
Yeah.
It's fine. Forget the past. He's cleared to play.
Right.
The best quarterback should play. Fine. And then now let's talk about, he's got a terrible supporting cast right now.
Yeah.
And they might be re-signing Jordan Matthews. I mean, come tomorrow, that could be the case. We'll see. I mean,
we'll see next week.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to be fine. They're going to be better than they were. They have Carson Wentz instead of Nick Foles. Nick Foles is fine. Carson Wentz is one of the best in the league. They got Carson back. That's a good thing.
That's a great thing.
He's medically cleared.
Well, I'm sure nobody's saying
he's not going to re-injure anything on the first hit. He's fine.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody's saying necessarily it's a bad thing. I was just curious if you felt like, because I feel like
it's terrible timing because
they just lost. That's me.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible timing just because they just lost. My question, I guess, would have been better if asked if we won last week in Tampa Bay. Do you think he'd still be coming back this week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just think because if they won last week, it wouldn't have been convincing either way.
Right. Okay. I agree with that.
I feel like he was probably actually cleared last week, but they didn't put him in
Could be.
because no one really talked about his doctor's appointment. Like week 1, it was like, when's he go see the doctor? All right, Friday before the game. All right, he's not medically cleared. No one talked about the doctor's appointment for week 2.
Yeah. I think you're right.
But then why are you waiting more? Like, why are you waiting longer? What's the point?
I think it's more.
Eventually, you have to throw him in.
Yeah.
Why wait?
I think this is a better week than last week.
Yeah. It's a better week. 2, the home crowd does give, as much as people say, field placement doesn't, home crowd does give you an advantage. They do. They're behind you. Yeah.
I think it's a vague difference between bringing him in against the Bucks or the Colts. I don't see it being that big a difference. I think he's still going to have his work cut out for him.
For sure.
This week.
I mean, he's playing an NFL team, for sure. I just think that there is it's a different caliber defense this week as opposed to last week, and also as opposed to next week. And I do agree with Craig that the home crowd will definitely get him pumped up. Not that he's already not going to be pumped up, but at least maybe the other team won't be quite as pumped up. It's just going to be a different tone to the game because it's a totally different team. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm really excited to see him back, and I think he's going to do great. I'm just concerned. I'm concerned more about his supporting cast than I am his leg. I don't think that he's going to be another RG3. We're in a totally different system. He wasn't running as much as RG3 was, and we have all around better players than that team
would
did.
you bring him back in Tampa Bay with the heat and everything? Because I found out something last week, which I didn't know. So the Tampa Bay players, they sit on the bench and they have this almost like an astronaut cooling system in their pads and stuff to pump cold water through. So what team is going to invest in that when they play up north most of the time in the cold weather? They're not going to invest in a cooling system that can just plug in.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
So you're also going to put him under heat stress in a situation.
I like the move. I'm ready to see some Carson Wentz. Let's move on to these rapid fire things. Got about 10 minutes left of the show.
So we need to explain the concept.
Yeah, you explain the concept.
All right, so here's how this came to be. CJ being plugged in to the whole Hollywood thing.
I deal with a couple people.
Yeah.
CJ knows a lot.
Like the entertainment world. He's on TMZ a lot. And TMZ Sports, it turns out, like he was just one night at the bar, he's reading me like TMZ headlines. And I'm like, this is so TMZ.
Yeah.
It's so Hollywood.
I read some of it. Yeah, it is.
But then also TMZ sets it up in a way where you can get most of the information from the headline. and I've read everything I'm gonna shout out, so I know backstory. If you guys need clarification,
Yeah, so here's how it's going to work. CJ is going to read us a TMZ headline, and we're
Sports
going to
headline,
give
yeah.
a rapid fire. Yeah, TMZ Sports. We're going to give our quick opinion, short and sweet,
Yeah.
and then boom, on to the next one.
Bucks Winston sued by Uber driver he allegedly groped.
He's not playing another game in Tampa Bay.
Is this new? This is like
Breaking news.
separate from
Wait, that
another
just
one?
happened?
TMZ has it as breaking news.
Wow.
It's his last thing was from an Uber driver. There's no way.
A Chargers player claims trainer injected him with performance enhancing drugs. Sues trainer for $15 million.
Wow. Who is this?
It is. No, it's one of their.
No. What did you say? Chargers player? Is that what you
Yes.
said? That's crazy. So what, is he suspended? I guess he's suspended, and that's why he's suing him for all this money. He's blaming it on the
saying
trainer.
The trainer whose literal job is to not inject his players with performance enhancing drugs?
He has never been suspended, but he has a whole list of incidents where he claims the trainer injected him with performing enhancing drugs to bring him back from injuries early.
Wow. Kevin?
So this is a guy who's done with the NFL, looking for an opportunity. He hasn't been suspended, but he's saying, I have inside information.
Let me see if I do not know.
Maybe a
if he's
trainer
still
that
playing.
knows how to like skirt the rules. Is that what's going on here?
Because $15 million is a lot of money.
Now, that could be juicy. I'd be totally interested in like a Lifetime movie where like, a team's, physical trainer is like, he found a way around the rules. Like, yeah, I'm going to inject you with this stuff. I know where you're getting tested. Wink, wink. We're going to make this work.
Oh, that could be.
I'm into that.
He retired, but he claims it's cost him endorsement deals due to the knowledge being known.
Wow.
But nobody knows. You still haven't
Well-
given us a damn name. We don't know.
Well, we're wrapping.
He's suing them, and
We need
now
more.
it's
We
on
need more.
TMZ.
You know what?
Yeah,
Screw
so
it.
what's next?
Next story. Go.
Matt Barnes, I smoked weed before every game since high school.
Of course he did.
I believe it.
Who didn't know that already? It's Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes did Matt Barnes things. Okay, next.
LaShawn McCoy's baby mama, NFL star, used our kid as a pawn to cover up his role in home evasion.
Yo, that whole story is crazy, and you talked about it a while ago. But how did he use it How did he use the baby as a pawn?
Because he said he would. The kid was in the house, so he said he would have never done that.
Ah,
So he said, if I would have done it, I would have done it when she was home alone, not when the kid was there. But I still think he did
Wait,
it.
the kid who's being accused of hitting multiple times,
Yes.
he suddenly
Yes.
cares a lot about?
Yes.
No. LaShawn McCoy is garbage. He's such garbage. This is somehow like, this is perfect. Like what's happening to the Bills, they deserve it because they backed LaShawn McCoy for no good reason. I heard somebody on Sports Talk Radio today say, let's trade for LaShawn McCoy. And that's a caller calling up. They're allowed to be dumb. The host of the show said, well, we don't really need a running back right now. We need a wide receiver. Screw you. How about the fact LaShawn McCoy beats his girlfriend and his kid and his dog? He beats anyone. He beats his Uber driver, his milkman. Do people still have milkmen?
allegedly.
He probably beats the milkman too. Allegedly.
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 Next.
Tiger Woods' probation for DUI ends early. He is free to drink again.
Yeah! Tiger's my favorite.
You think he's going to be better at golf now?
Party! Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Next.
Drinking's good.
Odell Beckham Jr. Shaq was my dad's roommate at LSU.
Who cares? Next.
Yeah, who cares? It's dumb.
LaVon Bell hosts rap EP release party.
Is it his rap release?
Of course. Oh, the guy who's supposed to be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, but he has a
It is
rap
not
release
his
party.
rap release. He got paid to host.
He just got paid to host.
Well, he's gotta
he
get
needs
paid somehow.
Yeah, he needs money somehow.
That's so dumb.
Michael Jordan donating $2 million to hurricane victims.
$2 million. That's great.
The GOAT.
NASCAR CEO pleads not guilty in Oxy and DUI case.
Who?
The the CEO of NASCAR.
Oh wow,
That is on brand
yeah, that's
for the NASCAR.
spot
CEO.
on. Yeah.
Pirates do moment of silence for Mac Miller.
It's great. That's as they should. Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's crazy.
I
And
heard-
Le'Veon Bell was a huge fan of Mac Miller, and I actually wondered that, and I know like those things, ultimately probably won't have an effect, but it was his death and Le'Veon Bell's like holdout scenario happened at the same time.
Yeah.
And I kind of wondered if Le'Veon Bell was going to be like, you know what, life's short. Let's
Yeah,
get back to
play.
business.
Well, Le'Veon Bell hits the jet skis in Miami and tells Steelers to pay me.
Wow.
Le'Veon Bell's about Le'Veon Bell.
Wow. This team hasn't won a game yet. They're 0-1-1.
Pete Rose claims to be in bad health and disabled, and asks Judge to boost up his divorce hearing.
It's called being old. He's
Yeah.
a very old man.
He is
He's older than you think.
a Hall of Fame jacketless old man.
Meek Miller dropping Kaepernick song.
Meek Mill. Oh, he dropped a Kaepernick song?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Was there any details on this? Like, how does that go? Like, he just like mentions Kaepernick in his song.
I'm sure there's a link into it. But
I mean,
we're not
I
gonna
feel
play
like
the song.
that's like a trend now. Like
It
Kaepernick
is.
should be. He's probably in like a shitload of.
He is.
He's the flavor of the week.
Somebody had a song on Madden and they mentioned Kaepernick's
Yeah.
name and they cut it. They blanked it out like a curse word. Did you know
that's
that?
dumb.
How crazy is that?
Well, no. Then they took it back. They put the
They put it back on?
Yeah, they took out the beep and put Kaepernick's name
Good.
back in.
Good. They should.
Floyd Mayweather, watch me party with Manny and then watch me beat him up again.
This is him saying like, all right, watch me promote this bullshit fight, get all your money, and have everyone be disappointed.
Yeah.
Like he knows this.
This is
We
me
all
partying
know
with him
this.
before I pretend to hate him for
He's
3 months
making
leading
fun
up
of us
into the
right
fight.
now.
Yeah, he is.
Because there's gonna be a whole like HBO. What do they do? Like
Yeah,
what's
like
it like
the,
24/7, 24/7.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're gonna go through this whole thing where they both hate each other and they're training to beat the enemy, their arch nemesis. He's saying right now he's gonna party with the guy, then beat his
Then
ass.
beat his ass.
No.
Dumb. Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that before you buy into this bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, I got two more.
Two more.
Cousin Sal, bet the farm on the Redskins lock of the week.
Oh, God.
That Ben Simmons or Bill Simmons cousin Sal from you're saying from Jimmy Kimmel and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Bet the Redskins for what?
lock of the week.
Week 2, garbage.
Wait, who?
They
Wait,
lost again.
no.
They lost. Or for week 3.
He's saying week 3.
Why? Who are they playing?
I don't know who they're playing.
I need some more information.
It doesn't say on TMZ who they're playing. It's just saying
the
that
Packers
Oh,
in Washington.
All right.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
Bet the farm on the Packers.
Yeah. Next.
Michael Irvine, I'm not gonna fight Steve Smith, but I ain't backing down.
I don't know what happened between him and Steve Smith.
Oh, I vaguely remember this. I'm not sure entirely.
It had to do with commentary for football on Thursday.
Yeah, I forget what that was. Steve Smith said something. Shoot. What was it? We got to figure this out. It was, oh, man.
Let's see.
I don't know. We need to do go to the week, though.
All right, go to that, and then I'll re.
All right, we'll
you
do go to the
find
week.
out. So, go to the week. The greatest of all time.
Of the week.
So, mine for this week, for multiple reasons. Ryan Fitzpatrick. 27 for 33, 402 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick against our Philadelphia Eagles. That's one reason. Second reason, all those stats on my fantasy football team. Third reason, his after the game press conference in Deshaun Jackson's clothes, chest hair hanging out and gold chains. They asked him, once they found out that all that was Deshaun Jackson's clothes, which he was standing off to the side half naked watching him do this, laughing his ass off, they asked him, is any of that yours? He said, the chest hair's mine. Like a boss. Like a boss. I'm not a Ryan Fitzpatrick guy. What is he, 14 years in the league, journeyman quarterback?
Too soon.
I'm just excited to see him doing well. I don't think he's going to win the MVP or anything, but I do think that he's going to give Jameis Winston a run for his money, for his job, and especially if he keeps screwing up with Uber drivers. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is achieving Fitz magic in Tampa Bay right now. I think they win their division and lose in the playoffs.
Well,
There's somebody
Deshaun
way better than
Jackson
that.
said today that he thinks he got to stick with the hot hand. He was on the side of
Why would you? Why would you
Fitzpatrick.
not?
Stephen A. Smith, I think, said today that unless, Fitzpatrick totally, not even has a bad game, but has
A meltdown.
several really bad games, then they should move on.
He's the guy right now.
I think, he's their starting quarterback.
He's the
for
guy.
sure.
He's
It's
my
weird,
go to the week. He's my go to the week.
but it's
for sure.
too soon. It still hurts.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
He's your go to the weekend. It hurts so
Listen,
bad. Why would you do that to me?
It would be bad. It'd
Why
be
would you
worse
do that
for
to me?
He's on my fantasy squad.
Bullshit.
He is. He got me 64 points.
Stop it.
It's crazy. My
Why would
team
you
is
do that?
garbage, and I beat somebody who has
They
Tom
were playing
Brady.
the Eagles. Why would you do that?
I beat the commissioner of our league,
Wrong.
and he's a crooked commish.
Doesn't make it not wrong.
Shout out Dan Harmon,
Doesn't make it right.
the crooked commish.
Completely crooked.
I beat him by like 60 points, and that's Ryan Fitzpatrick. 64 points on that ass.
And nobody cares.
Dude, I give a shit. I
No.
thought my team was was going to lose every game this year because of auto draft. Between him and whoever the wide receiver for the Saints is, what is it, Michael Thomas or something? Number 13? Guy's a maniac. He's got me like 80 points the past 2 weeks.
And you're going to win that $80 gift certificate to Target at the end of the year. I
God,
hope you get
so.
it. I hope you get it. You deserve it.
Who's your go to the week?
My go to the week is Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald.
New show on Netflix.
Really good.
Norm Macdonald has a show. Phenomenal. It's
I gotta
so
check it out.
good. It's so good because some of the episodes are total garbage.
Yeah.
That's why it's great. Because he doesn't know. Going into the show, he doesn't know if this interview is going to be good or bad. The episode with Chevy Chase is such a train wreck. You have to watch it. It's amazing. Because Norm is like a quarter checked out. Chevy Chase is like the rest of the way checked out. Chevy Chase is he's just barely hanging on to what like self-respect and dignity and talent he has left in this world. He's like 70% asshole, like 25% talent, and like the 5% is just like gelatinous goo. I don't know. He's a weird guy. And Norm's a weird guy. Weird interview. Not very good. But there's some great ones. David Spade, the first one, fantastic. David Spade can make any interviewer amazing. And I'm making this sound like Norm sucks. He doesn't suck. Drew Barrymore's second episode, great. Third episode, I think, was Judge Judy.
Wow.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart.
Yo,
I love her.
How long-
I wish she was my grandmother.
how long
She'd
are the
be-
episodes?
Especially because she is worth like
Yeah, she's
$400
rich
million
as shit.
dollars.
Yeah, she is.
10 episodes. It's not enough. Not nearly enough. I'm like 6 through.
What is it, like an hour?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Is it one
Um,
interview per hour?
Yes.
Like each
And
episode focuses on one person?
this couldn't be, there's no rules. The episode starts with the guest entering the room with the show and the co-host, and they start it. There's no pre-show, nothing at all. They have no idea what the show is. Norm has no idea what the show is. That's Norm. That's just the way he operates.
That's awesome.
He doesn't have a driver's license. Like he doesn't. Norm is just living.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just as lazy as it gets, but his comedic power is amazing.
Oh, he's hysterical.
It's so insane. He's got no work ethic at all whatsoever, but his comedic ability is unbridled. Just pure power.
Did you get clarification
Check that
on
I
that?
did get clarification. So Thursday night football pregame. Smith was offended by Michael. Said the Ravens haven't had a solid go-to wide receiver since Bolden. Smith shot back saying his stats dominate Michael's, and at one point it seemed like the two might come to blows.
I gotta look that up because I didn't see that.
Well, Steve Smith had some really good years there.
Yeah, he did. I always liked him. I thought he was.
I would put them on par with what Bolden did there. I think the only difference being that Bolden was there. I think when they won their,
Yeah,
Super
he
Bowl.
was. Yeah, he was. Yep.
but I mean that's kind of neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I think that was probably just Michael Irvin just forgot. I'm
Yeah, he
sure.
probably did. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah. I don't know.
I got to see that. It's going to be
Yeah.
really entertaining to watch. So maybe that's something for next week. We'll get into the blow by blow
Right.
of Michael Irvin versus Steve Smith.
I hope they fight. That'd be awesome.
If it comes to blow to blow.
Yeah. Yo, CJ, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you guys for having me again.
Kevin Reevy, great job tonight.
It's been fun.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back next week. Check us out, mbnnetwork.com. Stream all the episodes. Check us out. Get at us on Facebook. Follow us all on Twitter, whatever. All that good stuff.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
The Mel Gibson tapes.
You like that?
Oh, my God. Greatest podcast of all time.
You like that?
That was so good.
Thank you, man.
That was cool.
I listened to it twice.
Wow.
I listened to it twice. It was so good.
Groundbreaking coverage of that.
Really, really good.
Thank you,
Just want
man.
to say, nice job.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You did a nice job tonight. It was great.
Thank you.
No new Novak
I
and
know.
Franz this week, right, Craig?
No, Novak's schedule is not permitting it.
So we'll be back on that. If you didn't listen to Relatable Radio, I'm working on another show that we'd be airing on Fridays, not every week, but whenever we can. But MBN Network, we're doing some big things. Thank you for listening. I'm Taylor Cooper. Peace out.
Love you.